Do it.
Do it!
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Push it!
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's your pal Noms here, and today we are back talking about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, continuing the discussion surrounding this game's terrible multiplayer design and broken, overpowered sandbox elements. Now, I've already made 2 videos about what I think of the game and its multiplayer. I don't want to repeat myself too much, so if you want a more in-depth discussion on the game as a whole, I'd suggest you check out both of those videos when you're done here, as well as some of my other videos too if they pique your interest. But to summarize it for you, as no doubt many of you will agree, Black Ops Cold War's biggest problem with its multiplayer, the biggest reason why the game is unbalanced, broken, and personally very unfun to play, is the ridiculously overpowered sniper rifle weaponry. The LW3 Tundra and M82 rifles are essentially a one-shot kill anywhere on the map, including if the shot barely grazes your shoulder. This makes one-shotting with the sniper rifle incredibly easy and highly viable to do. And in the case of Black Ops Cold War, this is even more detrimental to the gameplay, is because unlike Modern Warfare, which had a much faster time to kill, Black Ops Cold War's time to kill is generally much slower, meaning most weapons take a lot longer to kill you. But these sniper rifles remain a one-shot shoulder kill from close, mid to long ranges and just about anywhere on the map. Now, you'd figure Treyarch would learn from this, right? They take player feedback from the non-quickscoping community, which is at least 90% of their player base, and you'd think that Treyarch would fix this and tone down the sniper lethality and make other weapons more viable to use. Nope! Absolutely not. According to this article, Treyarch is looking to be going in the opposite, or to put it more bluntly, the wrong direction. Now, from what I've gathered, this all started from a tweet by Tony Flame, who is the lead game designer at Treyarch and who I'd assume is leading the team and is heading the maintenance and updates for Black Ops Cold War. He tweets out an image of the M82 sniper rifle and a fuel line pump, and you don't have to be a genius to know what he's implying by this. Apparently Treyarch doesn't think the one-shot kill super fast ADS sniper rifle is a strong enough weapon. They want to make it even more ridiculously overpowered. Any of you who have played the Black Ops multiplayer for any length of time know this is a very bad idea because the balance is already fucked. Tony Flame then put out a second tweet to try and make this more clear, but let's go through the article first. Now, this article was by GameSpot, and it says, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War dev teases sniper buff. A developer from Treyarch says a sniper rifle will get buffed in the future and explains the thinking behind buffs and nerfs. Well, thinking and logic don't always coincide, do they? After nerfing the overpowered MP5, it appears Treyarch is setting its sights on changing the values of another Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War weapon, while the studio also provided some wider context on its approach to buffing and nerfing weapons in the multiplayer shooter. Lead game designer Tony Flame posted an image on Twitter recently that suggests the M82 sniper rifle will see a buff in an upcoming update. The article quotes, "Next order of business," Flame wrote, attaching an image of the weapon and a car getting a buff. Flame also provided some higher level context regarding how Treyarch approaches buffing and nerfing weapons. He said the studio's main imperative is to focus on keeping the time to kill, TTK, values where they should be across all weapons. When a weapon far exceeds that baseline, we must nerf it to respect the TTK, and likewise to buff the weapon to get it there. Tony, that's all well and good, but last I checked, the TTK on the M82 is instantaneous because it's a one-shot weapon. I know a lot of you guys are going to throw in there, but the ADS, yeah, even with the ADS, that shit still is beyond lethal. So tell me, Tony, how much more lethal can the goddamn sniper rifles be? Also, here's the tweet in question. Take a good look at it. And Tony also talks about respecting the TTK. Again, the way Black Ops Cold War distinguishes itself from Modern Warfare is that generally the TTK is much slower than the guns in Modern Warfare. A game which also has one-shot kill sniper rifles and is actually more balanced for it. And that's beside the fact that Modern Warfare nerfs its snipers in several ways. To put it bluntly, it doesn't matter what you do to the TTK of the other weapons in Black Ops Cold War, keeping the sniper rifles the way they are and working around them is only going to cause more problems because the snipers are the root of the problem in the first place. The TTK of the LW3 Tundra and the M82 Sniper needs to be lengthened. And if you design them to be one-shot shoulder, upper body, and headshot weapons, then the ADS needs to be slower. One way or another, the ADS has to be slower. But we will discuss that shortly. The article goes on. The first major post-release patch for Black Ops Cold War made a series of buffs and nerfs, including the FFAR-1's increased recoil, reduced max damage and max damage range. The M16's reduced max damage range and increased sprint to fire time, among other things. And all snipers, the sprint to fire time has been adjusted. Some weapons saw buffs, including the Magnum, getting improvements to fire rate and max damage range. The M60 improved damage range and movement speed. And for further context, here are the day one patch notes on the Treyarch website. As you can see, the sniper rifle's sprint to fire times were adjusted. It doesn't specify whether it was a nerf or a buff, but if this Reddit post is to be believed, it's likely referring to the lengthened ADS time for the Tundra. Yes, apparently the ADS in the beta was actually quicker than on the current build. Though it certainly wasn't much of a nerf because, as we all know, as of November 30th, 2020, regardless of what was done, the Tundra and the M82 are still ridiculously unbalanced and certainly weren't adjusted nearly enough. So now that we've established the root of the problem and how to fix it, and that Treyarch is looking to go further in the wrong direction and make things worse, let's see how the community feels. Here are some of the responses to Tony's tweet. Obviously, this only represents a small portion of the COD player base, but I found some of their responses to be rather interesting. Take a look. The first tweet says, Milano is just like what the MP5 was at launch. It's broken. Please fix. Also, snipers are getting out of hand. There should be a limit to how many snipers can be on your team. 3+ snipers. I just quit match at that point. 2 is fine, but 3+ is whack and not a fun time. There was a lot of tweet replies to this, just telling this guy to quote-unquote get good, but he makes a valid point that they are just missing. Those people replied saying that snipers aren't the most viable weapon, and if anything, they are currently too weak. Personally, my rebuttal would be that if they are so weak, if they aren't the most viable weapon with the game's current build, then why are so many people using them? Why is there an overabundance of sniper users in every single match? See, that to me proves that the snipers aren't too weak, because if they were, not nearly as many people would be using them in the way that they are. Again, I point to Modern Warfare where this shit is way more balanced, and so that only the most skilled players use quickscoping in that game. The second tweet says, thank you Tony for nerfing the snipers, and that was followed by, that shit ain't been nerfed, I just got quickscoped in the dunes 5 rounds in a row. I'm guessing he's talking about the map Satellite there. Well, that sure doesn't surprise me. The next tweet is kind of unrelated, but it's something I've yet to speak on regarding this game's issues. He says, nerf SBMM. I'm literally being punished for playing the game, and before anyone tries to say some goofy shit, check the stats. I've been told by several commenters that skill-based matchmaking is fucking over many players. This is an easy fix, however. All Treyarch has to do is make an actual skill-based matchmaking mode or a competitive playlist, and not tie the skill-based matchmaking to the entire multiplayer. You'd think that would just be common sense upon making the game, but I guess not. Again, I'll reiterate from my videos, how does a game company make the same game 10 years in a row and somehow make it worse? Especially since Black Ops Cold War didn't really try anything new. Okay, now this guy I think has an excellent take on how to fix the problem. He basically outlines the issue with TTK of other weapons being completely outmatched to the sniper rifles. If I aim down a sight on a high traffic area with a sniper in this game, regardless of how quickly an enemy reacts to me, even if he lands the first 2 to 3 bullets, I will always get the kill. This is spoiling the game. Add actual flinch to snipers, but increase their ADS speed. And while I don't think ADS needs to be increased, adding flinch would allow players to stand a fighting chance if they land their shots, rewarding their accuracy with automatic weapons, or semi-automatics for that matter. And this will also make kills from the Tundra and the M82 feel more rewarding to the skilled players who still manage to align their reticle and get the kill, even with the addition of flinch. And finally, we have this tweet. As an honest sniping fan, I think I speak for all of us when I say nerfing the snipers was a great decision. They were simply too good and were upsetting the balance of the game in their current state. Definitely a fair move. This is coming from an honest sniping fan, by the way. Regardless of how they've been nerfed ever so slightly, they are still broken. So if he thinks the snipers aren't so easy to get kills with at the moment, well, 1, that's just blatantly false. And 2, that's gonna get even more false when Tony makes good on his sniper buff tease in the coming weeks. I've seen reports of players in the COD community complaining about the snipers being outclassed by the AUG and the M16 tactical burst rifles. So me and my friend actually went in to investigate it. We were honestly shocked of how Treyarch has just left these guns virtually untweaked. Apparently in the patch notes, the M16's max damage distance was nerfed somewhat, but it doesn't really matter because the tactical rifles are meant to be more effective at range. But at close range, the AUG and the M16 are still a one-shot burst kill to the head and the body. In our field test, we figured out that the current build does have these broken tactical rifles outclassing the snipers at certain ranges. When the sniper wielder is out of max damage range, which is about mid-range-ish, then the sniper will just about win every time. But at close to inner mid-range, both tactical rifles can scope in and beat out the sniper in one shot, even if they just land a direct shot to the body. I'm fine with these rifles being a one-shot to the head since they are precision-based, but a one-shot to the body is bullshit. And I do believe this is much like the accident that was made with the Model 725 in Modern Warfare. It's just very sloppy work rather than a design flaw. Admittedly, you do need to hit each round from the burst on both tactical rifles to get the insta-kill, which is why the Tundra and M82 in a lot of instances at close range will still win the gunfight. But still, this is just very sloppy, Treyarch. But it's important to understand that the sniper rifles were designed to be these one-shot shotguns from anywhere across the map. The burst fire AUG and M16, I think, is just an error in weapon damage moderation. Like, it was unplanned. It was accidental, just like the Model 72 Go Fuck Yourself from the original Modern Warfare launch was ridiculously overpowered. It was a shotgun that was essentially a sniper rifle. It was just a hilariously poorly balanced weapon, just like the AUG and M16 surely are. They're not designed to be that way, they will get nerfed. These sniper rifles, on the other hand, again, are designed by Treyarch, in their own words, to be these one-shot shoulder killers from across the map in a split second, in a TTK time that just about every weapon can't match. Maybe they can match it at super close range, in a scenario that a sniper is not really meant to be used in. But at mid to long ranges, and hell, even in some short range encounters, the sniper still, in most instances, reigns supreme. It is unmatched. It is a broken weapon that needs to be nerfed pronto. There's a reason why so many people are choosing those weapons. There's a reason why so many people are quitting this game because it's just simply unfun for them to play. And this needs to be addressed. Buffing the snipers is not going to help Black Ops Cold War. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on Treyarch's tease of an incoming sniper buff. Do you think this will result in a positive effect on the gameplay, or do you share my thoughts in thinking it's going to make the multiplayer even more of a nightmare? Well, I'm anxious to read your comments below. This brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you have time, consider staying for the outro. First off, in case you haven't figured it out yet, this is actually my second channel that talks about video games. If you are interested in movies, television, or pop culture related content, you can find me primarily on Anomaly Inc. I've linked my primary channel in the description, and I hope you check it out. You may find something to your liking. Secondly, don't forget to check out the channel's Discord server. It's a gaming dedicated Discord where we talk about Call of Duty, Halo, Doom, Nintendo, gaming news, and other stuff as well. Check it out at your leisure, and who knows, maybe you'll make some friends along the way. Next, I want to give a shout out and thank you to all of my patrons for all of your contributions and support for my work. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate the generosity. If you'd like to become a channel patron and pledge to the channel, even if it's just $1 per month, the link to Patreon is in the description. And finally, here's one last thank you for staying to the end of the video. You are a legend, and I'll see you next time.